the KTBS3 St. Jude Dream Home, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and you, helping Arklatex children in the fight against childhood cancer. Tonight, we present The Dream Continues, brought to you by Barksdale Federal Credit Union and Coca-Cola Bottling Company United of Shreveport.
Hello everybody, I'm Rick Rowe with my good friend Jan Elkins. Don't you love this time of the year?
It's a great time of year for all kinds of reasons, including the fact that tickets to the KTBS3 St. Jude Dream Home are on sale now.
By the way, there it is. This is Dream Home number 32. It's hard to believe you and I sat out in front, 1991 I think it was,
right.
That very first Dream Home, kind of a pre-manufactured house. We had no idea what was in our future.
And that we gave away that house in April.
Yeah.
And so it had flooded. And so Rick and I were in director's chairs with water all around us, but the house was safe. And you'll hear from a young man in this show whose family won that first house.
When you talk about, if there's one individual that has been the driving force, folks, behind the Dream Home from the very inception, it has to be Dr. Donald Mack. To take it all the way back, you'd have to start with Dwayne Dodd.
You tell me, I said, and we can all cry together.
The little boy with a twinkle in his eye had cancer. That's the bad news. The good news was his doctor, Dr. Donald Mack. He sent Dwayne to a brand new hospital in Memphis, St. Jude.
He lived 18 months. That was unheard of.
Dr. Mack was hooked, started sending patients regularly to St. Jude, became a good friend of Danny Thomas. So, when that call came to his office in 1991 offering a manufactured house.
She called me and said, I have a house that you can have over here. Do you want it to raise some money? I said, I sure do.
But Dr. Mack is a pediatrician. He doesn't know how to raise a bunch of money. He visits a local television station.
He politely laughed at me and said it was impossible to do. Nothing like this is impossible. I'm not going to walk on the waters.
But he did walk into George Servin's office at KTBS.
I'll never forget, because I looked at him and I said, Dr. Mack, that idea is so crazy that it will work. I said, so let's give it a try.
And asked George Servin and Edwin Ray to help me. And they did it with open arms.
30 years ago when I told somebody your child has leukemia.
It was all hands on deck. Live shots from the first house, 3 hours in the studio. You could put all those first entries in a small aquarium. Then the big announcement.
This is for the house and the car. And the winner is Jennifer Wright. Jennifer, you have won yourself, my dear, a house and a car.
The second year, we raised $330,000, and Dr. Mack got himself a standing O.
I walked into the board meeting. I was a few minutes late, and they all stood up and gave me an applause.
Then George Servin starts getting calls.
Do you mind sharing your story with another TV station in another city, in another state? We said we'd be happy to.
The dream began to spread. City after city followed the KTBS template. Today, 30 different dream homes will be built, raising nearly $30 million.
KTBS and St. Jude really turned this idea that Dr. Mack had into something that's become national.
I found out what St. Jude was. I kind of consider it my project now.
But none of it could have happened without a builder named George Rogers and his army of bricklayers and electricians and plumbers who for 24 years have done millions of dollars of labor for zero. Well, that's not exactly true, is it? They did it, KTBS did it, Dr. Mack did it, for Cammie and Sarah, and for Dwayne, and for 1,000 kids yet unborn.
Some children are now living that never would have had a chance.
All because a stubborn doctor walked into a television station that said, yes, we can.
The Lord works in mysterious ways. He ended up at the right place, at the right time, with the right people, and look what's happened.
When my son was diagnosed with cancer as a baby, my entire world fell apart. But my family and I were so thankful that local doctors knew of a place called St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Today, Jay is pitching at the collegiate level and living out his dream. Thanks, Dr. Mack.